You got to break it down. You got to make it manageable. You got to make it obtainable. You've got to break down the goal so that it is something that you can reach, so that it's something you can maintain, so that it's something that you can see the outcome becoming a reality. This is coming from a coaching session that I had today, and I was working with an individual, and we were talking about goals and BHAG goals for the company. And when I say BHAG, it's the big, hairy, audacious goal. And if you haven't read any of Jim Collins's books, he talks about it in several of his books about set that goal so high that it's almost unattainable, but it's obtainable. It's something that you really want to do, but you got to figure out how to get there. And, when you set that goal, you've got to have a lot of other goals in between to get to that actual goal. If your goal is to be a millionaire, you got to figure out how you're going to make $2,700 a day so that you can become a millionaire. And one things that we forget to do, and we were talking about this in the coaching session today with my client, is we need to define those milestones. When you hit A, that that you're moving in the right direction. When you hit B, you're moving a little bit further down the path. And when you hit C, you actually know that you're actually, seeing momentum and picking up into the right direction. So defining those milestones and what they look like so that you know that you're moving in the right direction towards that goal. The other thing we talked about was celebrating the wins. When you do hit those milestones, what are we doing? Are we drinking a good bourbon? Are we having a cigar? Are we, going to the gym and pumping it out? It's whatever you want it to be, but we just got to make sure that we're celebrating it and making sure that we are, making it a big deal because we accomplished something. We've reached, a new heights. We've learned, we've developed, we've done whatever it is to reach to that next goal. And we need to make sure that we are celebrating those small wins. And as leaders, we need to make sure we're celebrating those wins with our teams. So whether it's pizza on a Friday, whether we're taking them out, whether it's, drinks afterwards, it doesn't matter what it is. It's just making sure we're celebrating so that ourselves and people know that we're moving in the right direction. The other thing is with setting the small goals to get to that ultimate big goal is we accomplish things. We stay motivated. If we've got 12 goals and we hit all 12 goals, then we hit the big one, then, hitting each one out of those 12 that we're celebrating with goal number one, and that keeps us motivated. Then we get to, that pushes us to get to number 2. We celebrate a little bit more, and then we go to number 3, and then we hit a milestone. And after, 3 goals, we hit that 4th one, and that's a milestone. And, and we're making that look, what that looks like, and we're celebrating and we're making it positive in the office as a leader or at home. I mean, a goal for your financial future could be to get a house, to get a car, to go on a vacation. And we need to make sure that we're celebrating along the way that, we've got if we want to go on a European vacation, it's going to cost $20,000 for the family. It's, set those goals. And the first month we want to save this. And the second month we're going to save this. And the 5th month we want to have so much money. And take a little celebration and saying, cheers, ching, whatever it is that, we've put that, $5,000 away that we wanted to, and celebrate that and make sure that, we know what that small win looks like. And we've defined that milestone that we can celebrate it. And, now once you see that 5,000 in, you see that 6,000 in, you get a little bit more motivated. You're looking to win a client in the office, and, that's the ultimate goal is to get this $50 million account. All right. What are the goals to get there? What are the 12 steps that we're going to need to get there? And, when we hit goal number 1 as a manager and goal number 2, we need to celebrate it with the team. That keeps them motivated and gets them moving, and, continue to celebrate. And when we hit that marker that we've made it past the first round of, quotes or RFQs or whatever it is, that we celebrate that with the team, and we, because that milestone's been defined and we understand what it looks like. The other thing when we talk about is not only we talk about breaking down the goals and making the dream a reality but, what is that goal? How do we set it? What does it look like to set an actual goal? Well, first of all, we got to dream that goal. And if we're a leader, it's dreaming that goal of a $50 million contract. So then we need to make our passwords a $50 million contract. That could be the password, $50 million contract. We need to start with that idea and define it. We need to turn that idea into an obsession. We need to be obsessed with that $50 million contract. Or if we're on a personal level and we want to be a millionaire in 3 years, then, like I said, we got to figure out how we're going to make $2,700 a day. So our password is going to be $2,700 a day. Our obsession is going to be, how do I make $2,700 a day? And then we're going to develop that plan and we're going to put it in place. We're going to develop that plan so that it looks and feels real. We're going to put that plan in place that has those small goals that we just talked about, that has those milestones in it, so we know that we're moving in the direction. And once that plan is in place, we're going to define what needs to happen for this goal to take place. We can set the goal, we can define, we can put the plan and everything else, but there's still things that need to happen for this goal to take place. If it is make $2,700 a day, or to get that $50 million deal, we need to define what happens. Well, we need to make $2,700 a day. How are we going to do it? How are we going to break it down? What's it going to look like? Are we washing cars? Are we, peddling things? Are we making phone calls? If we're going to make phone calls, how many phone calls do I need to make a day in that, to sell those mortgages? And I need to, to reach that $2,700 a day mark. If I need to make 100 calls to get 5, then I'm making 105 calls. I'm making 110 calls. I'm over defining, but something's going to need to happen, and we just need to figure out what it is, and we need to make it happen. So, again, setting the goal process, you got to dream it, got to love it, got to breathe it, got to, get it. It all starts with an idea, and, that idea is an obsession. And if you're obsessed with it, you're going to put that plan in place. You're going to make sure it happens. And like I said, circling all around to make that dream a reality, don't forget to celebrate the small goals. Don't forget to celebrate the small wins. Don't forget to set the milestones so that you can have these celebrations with yourself, with the team, and with whomever else is a part of this journey. But, as Jim Collins said, set that BHAG. Once you hit it, make sure you don't hit stagnant, because once you hit it, you got to redefine what the new goal is, and, what needs to happen to get that new goal. And the cycle continues, and it continuously, moves and moves and moves. And that's how we all stay motivated. So, if you'd love to talk a little bit more about motivation, if you'd love to talk about, defining goals for yourself or your sales teams or anything else in between, your marriage, your personal life, please reach out. Website is askchrisk.com. You can reach out directly through any of our social media sites. Send us a DM, and we'll make sure I personally get back to everybody that does that. Make sure you like this. If you like this video, make sure you hit the button below and let me know. And I really appreciate all the feedback that helps with these algorithms, as everybody says. If this is something that somebody needs to hear, make sure you share it, and I would love that opportunity. And again, leave comments below. I respond to all the comments. Would love your feedback on videos that we should be making, videos you'd like to see, and videos that that help you along your day and along your journey. So again, I'm Chris Kourtakis. I'm a licensed therapist and life coach, and would love the opportunity to work with you, your business, or anybody else in between. But until then, set the goals, celebrate them. Don't forget about those milestones. Make sure you define what they are. Make sure you understand what it is. And when you set that milestone, you set that celebration, you go out, make sure that celebration matches that goal and matches that milestone. And, like I said, if it's $1 million win, it shouldn't be just pizza or, a pat on the back. It should be a little bit more for the team. So that reward needs to be, or that celebration needs to be in line with whatever it is. But, if you're saving for that, like I said, European trip, and it's $20,000, you put 5 in the bank and you got 25%, then take $25, make that number a good number, and go have 2 drinks that are $25. So again, I'm Chris. Look forward to speaking with you, and don't forget to stop setting your goals.